Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this week I want to show you a project that I've been kind of working on, and it's my own fault, and I'll explain that in a minute. And, this is one that I've been playing with, doing it on and off, but it's really the result of one of my videos. And I often hear, many of you guys talk about how my videos motivate you and you get pretty excited about a kit, or my excitement is pretty infectious and you guys get into a kit that I'm working on, or get excited about a project. And I'm guilty of that myself, and this is one of those where that had happened with. And it all kind of started with a question or two, and with this particular one. But before I get into that, let's just remind you guys that our sponsor, Hobby Nut Models, I'll put a link in the video description below. He is having his summer sale and everything, so check out his website and what he's got on there. And don't be afraid to contact Mark and ask him if he's got some kits on the way or what's going on. But he's really good about sending emails out to everybody. If you're on his email list, you can always ask to be added to that email list. He's been a real great supporter of the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So please, guys, if you guys can, check him out. This particular kit, and it's funny. I know Mark looked for one of these particular versions because he asked me about it and some of my feedback on it. But a few years ago, roughly 2 years ago, I did a video on the AMT Challengers. Now, I really like 70 Dodge Challengers. And I did the video, and I had a whole bunch of versions of this kit because I like this kit, but it's not one of the easiest kits to build. And I had a few people ask me about putting the roof on, and it had dawned on me, I had built this one and I used a resin body, and I've actually used this engine compartment chassis in some of the MPC Challengers, but I'd never actually put the roof on this car. So I'm like, all right, I didn't really think too much about it. Now I knew I wanted to do the Vanishing Point Challenger, and I had the kit, and I picked up the kit because of it, but I had other versions of this kit that have all these same parts in it as well. So shortly after that video, one of the days I was deciding on doing body work, and I was just in the mood to do body work. I had that kit in the back of my mind, so I pulled the kit out, sanded all of the texture off of the roof, and probably decided, okay, let's glue this thing on. And I did that, and then I did a little bit of the putty work, but I hadn't actually started any of it. But, at the time when I showed that video, I had taken the hood with the hole in it, and I filled in the hole, and I finished the body work on that, but the underside wasn't quite done. The top still had some work, but you can see all of that in, that video. And I kind of explained all of that, but, since I had other kits that had all the parts, I decided, I wanted to do this one, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to build it, just not exactly some of the details, because I, wanted to research the vehicle some more. So I promptly, after doing the body work, grafting it on, getting all of this done, gluing the rear balance panel on, getting that done, making sure the bumper fits, and then deciding I knew I wanted to fix this or mold this. Now, whether I wanted to put the whole thing on and mold it in, so I decided to do it that way. And I've heard of people doing it, but once I glued all of this in, it made putting that grill in there impossible as one piece. So since then, I'd shown you in the video, I cut it into 3 sections, and now it's 3 pieces going there. So you put the headlights on one side, put the headlights on the other side, then put the chrome grille insert in there. But that allowed me to paint the body all in one shot. Now, I also was brushing up on my Vanishing Point details, as I have the movie. I'm not really a big fan of the movie, but it's not, any particular reason. The chase scenes are great. I kind of like all of that. Storyline, for me, didn't really enjoy it as much, but I still enjoyed watching the car because, all of those stunts and everything are filmed in real time, not sped up. There's no CG, and that's what's really cool about it, and I really enjoy that part of it. But watching the old footage and they kind of don't really mention the motor. There is a mention that it's supercharged, but you never see the motor. It's not in the movie. The remake, they show you a Hemi and they tell you it's a Hemi car in the remake. But the 1971 issue, they do say that, the cars were leased from Chrysler, and four of them were 444 speeds, and one of them was a 3-3 automatic. So I decided, and you can see the 440 Magnum on the hood in some of the scenes. I decided I was going to make it screen accurate 440 Magnum. But some of the things I noticed didn't have the gas cap, the pop open gas cap. Doesn't have the sport mirrors. It's got kind of a standard mirror, chrome standard mirror. So I was going to do that. No gas cap, put the 440 in it. So I started working on that stuff. So this is the 440 from the 71 Charger kit. And I swapped the tranny though. This is the 4-speed from this kit, as that Charger kit has an automatic. So I cut the tranny off, glued it on this, got it all set. And while I was at it, I was looking at some of the other compartment stuff. I took the battery from the 71 Charger as well and used that instead of the kit issued one. Some of the details are kind of weak on this. Also, since I got a huge mountain of parts, it doesn't come with this dash. The earlier kits had this dash, but the car would have this dash, the Rally cluster. So I used this from an older kit and didn't use the original kit issued later dash, which is the regular one. But speaking of spare parts, I've got a mountain of spare parts from these kits as I've used the chassis in multiple things, as I mentioned before. So there's a lot of engines, a lot of miscellaneous parts, and you can see orange kits, yellow kits, a couple of the yellow pieces, and then, gray kits. So that gives you an idea of how many of them I've had for parts. But I'm short on convertible boots because the newer kits don't come with the boots. But I'm using this for reference. And this is another thing that happens to me when I do this stuff and I really start looking this over. Now, this is a really old build, and I want to redo another one of these and do the 446 convertible, just like this. But when I built this, I picked not a factory color. I just picked a color I liked. Hood pins are in the wrong spot. I want to, remove those and put them in the right spot. Correct the shaker hood a little bit better. And I won't use the TA wing like I did on this one. But, some of the few things to make it better. But, I like this build and I've had it a long time. But it's kind of a victim to this. One of the things I did is, I detailed the tail panel. I had a bumper that was short shot on one of these that was in this kit. So my parts pile donated another bumper. And I had some messed up glass. So, rated that as well. And this one, it's funny. The body is pretty much done. I just need to do the foiling on the wheel opening moldings. And this thing won't be, will be done here fairly soon. But one of the things reading and researching this car is the shocks. I was trying to figure out what color I should paint the shocks. Should I just go black? Should I do something different? What am I going to do? Then I remembered in the reading that what's one of the things that they modified from the original cars is they put in heavier, dirty aftermarket shocks. So then it dawned on me, I'm going to paint these yellow. So I got to paint those yellow just to upgrade the shocks and make them. But then I'm like, well, what did I do on this kit when I put the shocks in? What color were they? So I flipped it over and wait a minute, there's no shocks. Why didn't I put shocks on there? I have shocks in my piles of parts kits. So then I got tempted. I'm like, do I upgrade the shocks or put them in there? Just paint them black and put them in there? And I noticed I didn't even paint the hangers for the leaf springs. So miscellaneous little flaws that I know that are on here that I can do better, but I didn't know at the time or didn't care at the time. I think it's more of I didn't really know. I was just building it and enjoying it, which is what I mainly remember. There's that old dash. This is the early version with the shaker. But it kind of cracks me up. But one of the things I did do is while I was doing this tail panel and making it much more accurate, I decided I was going to fix this one because I had painted the backup lights in the squares here and I painted that black. And I'd also, since I wasn't using the pop open gas cap, I put that on this one. So I upgraded this one a little bit by putting that pop open gas cap that wasn't in this kit, but was in that one. And then I changed the taillights. Here's a picture of this one from more recently that still had those taillights. And you can see in the picture, how it was, which isn't right, but a victim of my own scrutiny and fixing some of that stuff, even though I'm going to leave that pretty much alone. But the shocks thing is what's in my mind right now. Do I do another pair of shocks and put them in there? But I have to pop the axle off. Like, I think I'm going to leave it alone. It won't bother me. It's in the display case and I don't see it. The taillights I can see easily. So that was bugging me a little bit and decided I'm going to do that. I've got taillights. I've got everything. So I swapped those out. But anyway, you guys, I just wanted to share with you that I get excited. I get motivated about my builds when I'm sharing stuff with you. That's kind of how this one got started. I never really thought it would progress this far, as I wasn't really expecting to build this one, but it's much like my Super Bees. I got those other two bodies. I showed you the video on those 68, 69 Super Bees. Now I'm really itching to work on that 69 Coronet RT convertible. I want to build that and get started on that. But I'm like, I need to finish some of these other projects. And my 71 Mustang wide body, I really haven't touched that much in the past couple of weeks. I really need to get back on that one. And then I get excited about other things and kits coming in and some of the latest stuff. And even some of my other ones that I play with, like I mentioned a video doing that. Well, this one is another victim to that. The 69 Cougar that I stripped the body on and I did the comparison videos on. Well, this thing has now got all the parts and it's ready to be painted and built. So this one I'm in the process of thinking of colors to paint the body or what color combination that's going to be. But I'm a victim of all of that, always wanting to start, get one going, get excited about one. And you guys see that and get excited as well. So I'm no different myself. I get very excited about some of this stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna cut this short and save some other things for other videos and whatnot. But anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and everything. I really do appreciate it. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.